Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be discussing about a very new model. It is in the FMCG space called Annapurna Swadisht Limited. It is a very small company, hardly 500 crore ka market cap hai, but you're seeing it, it is doing all the things right. You're seeing it, there is a good top line growth, and you're seeing that the top line growth is fueled by volume growth, right? On top of that, they're doing a lot of CAPEX ho raha hai, distribution ho raha hai. Not just that, the demand is also favorable in their conditions, right? So everything, if you see, all is going on, like great hunky dory thick situation is happening here. But it is our duty to to see both the risk as well as the good things. So today we'll be discussing about the business model. We will go ahead and look the management outlook and the guidance that has been given, and of course going forward we will see the risk also involved with this business model, right? And I have a very small PPT prepared, and everything from the PPT has been I have gotten it from the annual report of this company, right? So let's just deep dive. I have a very small PPT, so let's just go through it. Yeah, I think my screen is visible. So anyways, so the company that we're going to be doing is called Annapurna Swadisht Limited, right? So what do? They do all these kind of snacks, right? Basically like Lay's and Kurkure. Similarly to that, it's basically a rip-off of Lay's and Kurkure, okay? You can see all different kinds of product here, right? And all their products are under 5 category. That is what maximum price is INR 10 rupees. But again, the starting price is INR 5, and almost around 96% of their products, 96 to 98% of their product, right, is there in this category, that 5 rupees ka category. You can see, right, all these chips, potato chips. You can see this cake, basically a rip-off of Britannia ka wo ek aata hai na, the cake, the cupcakes. It's similar to that, right? Similarly, here also you're having this namkeens or snacks as you call, which is, I think you would have seen this Haldirams and Bikaji, right? Similarly to that, but again 5 rupees ka packet. And they have sweet range also in similarly here, and this is the maximum price. Actually they have the 10 rupees cream roll, right? This is their only gourmet product. So that's the thing, right? Very basic, simple business model that is there. They have their own brand. The brand name is called Annapurna Swadisht, as you can see here, right? And they sell products at the range of somewhere between 5 to 10 rupees. But having said that, the majority of that comes in INR 5 category. Not only that, they have a very simple policy. They want to just push on volume growth. That's it. Because like you see, right, all the products are at 5 rupees. So what kind of value growth can you have here, right? There's absolutely no value growth at the end of the day, right? Inka jo growth aega only aega from volume, or even if they have to play the value growth, they have to reduce the what is that grammage or grammage of snacks that is there. They have to reduce the quantity of snacks that goes into these packets, right? That is how they play the game. But it is a purely volume play, right? And of course, like I told you, volume ka game hai yahan pe. So the only thing, they have this policy that they have to go and be there in as much as shelf possible. Like agar aap jahan kahin bhi dekhoge, only thing you have to find is Annapurna Swadisht. That is what they're concentrating on, right? Isliye their tagline is very simple: jo dikhta hai wo bikta hai. So that is why they're very much concentrated right now, in going there and being in every little shops that are there, retail touch points, increasing distribution. I also found this. I was not able to attach this picture here, but I also found this on in my daily walk. I saw this in one of the stores also. Can you see here? I don't know if this is visible. Hopefully this is. But Annapurna Swadisht, can you see they do also this noodles also? Similarly, like I told you, rip off of all the big brands. Aap dekhte ho na, Britannia, Bikaji, everything that they do, these people do the similar kind of things. Can you see here? 2-minute ka Maggi, same kind of packaging, and this sells for $5 actually. So same kind of stuff. Yeah. And one more thing is, the speciality, I would say, comparing to the other brands. Like if you see the likes of Britannia, yeah, like I told you, Bikaji, Nestle and all things, these people are concentrated on rural India, right? That is where they're mainly established in rural parts of India. That is what they target in. Even if you see FMCG companies today, right, you would have seen that, they are also targeting, because see, all these major FMCG companies that are there, they're almost established in all the urban areas that are there, right? So even they're also talking about, the future volume growth is going to come from rural areas. So if you open any FMCG, the growth they talk about, they tell, rural economy is seeing an uptick. That is where they're projecting their growth from. Here also, similarly, that is what they do. And one second, yeah. Not just that, not just they're in the rural economy. If you can see, they're very, very concentrated. They're mainly concentrated in the east of India, right? If you see, almost, by the way, this is a very small company hailing from West Bengal. That is why you see West Bengal se abhi 56% ka revenue aata hai. If you see 2022, the revenue coming from West Bengal was around 70%, 68 to 70% ka revenue aata tha. But now, since the last year, they've been going and expanding into new places. You're seeing that the revenue contribution from West Bengal is slowly decreasing. At least the concentration is decreasing, and they're going towards Bihar, Jharkhand, Assam, Odisha, etc. You can see that, right? Now, the other thing, like I told you, right, they're focusing on two things. One is going there and being in as much as volume, being establishing the distribution system and being on shelf, right? That is one thing, right? And the second thing is providing variety in their snacks also. As you can see here, right, I've just taken snippets also, but this is called as pellet snacks. Okay, these, you can see this rings, finger, diamond, these are called as pellet snacks. Even here also, they have I think around 30 products, 30 ranges. Even in terms of this cakes, even in this namkeen also, they have wide varieties of products. So two things they're focusing on. One is volume, and one is on the what is that, having more variety. So that is why you're seeing this tagline also, kuch zyada on the shelf, that more variety of business. And of course volumes also, like I told you, jo dikhta hai wo bikta hai. That is what they're planning on to do. Here also you can see that this is the chairman's message, you can which I got from the annual report. You can see how these people are also very confident about the beating the industry, beating performance and everything. Just take a pause and read about it, so you get an idea of how the management is trying to go forward, right? You can see here also FY24 heralds a promising performance with the commission, right? Like, you can see how they're bullish about it. Another thing to note down over here is, right, why are you seeing this into being so much of highlight right now? Where was this all this while? When this company started, I think it started around 2016. When they started, they were manufacturing for big labels, right? Like whatever the big labels that were their clients, they were more or less like a contract manufacturers, right? That is what they did. In 2019, they realized, see, anyways, you are manufacturing for other people. Why not put up our own brand and do it? So in 2019, they started this pellet ka business, making this small 5 rupai ka snack. And they realized, it is going well. So from 2019, they slowly started increasing. 2019 में सिर्फ एक ही plan था उनका, right? For their own snacks they put up. And after that, they slowly started increasing. 2022 was, when they became even more aggressive, getting wide variety of snacks, and going into every nook and corner of the east of India, right? That is why you're seeing, the kind of demand and growth that you'll be seeing. I'll show it over there. So that is more or less on the business model that I had to explain you about. Like I told you, they sell 5 rupees ka product, all in the snacks range category, and majority of the revenue you're seeing is coming from West Bengal. They not only have their own products, but they also do contract manufacturing for certain companies. And in that case also, like you can see, they recently started this whole retailing ka business, right? Going directly to the customers and selling. So that is that. So now what excites me here is, even in this whole retail ka business that they're starting, right? You see the expansion being happening like no other, right? If you see, the first plant they started was Asanol, in Asanol. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. It was in West Bengal. So remember I told you in 2016 they started for contract manufacturing, and in 2019 they started apne khud brand ke liye. So that time they established this plant here at Asanol, and they started doing this Annapurna Swadisht ka snacks, diamond rings bechna, sorry, not diamond rings, rings and all those other products bechna, right? Later they understood the demand that came, right? In 2020, of course, the operations were a bit stalled because of COVID and everything, but again the operations caught up, right? In 2022 they realized they have a lot to offer. So what they did, they added this new plant in Siliguri, right? And it has 2 phases, AK Siliguri 1 or dusra Siliguri 2, right? Even, can you see here? Yeah. I hope I'm pointing my cursor right, and you can just follow my cursor. They added these 2 plants, to manufacture biscuit, cream rolls, rusk. Like I told you, right, 2019 में जब उन्होंने start किया था, they started with only this products. ये जो आप देख सकते हो, this small 5 rupees का fryams जो बोलते हैं हम लोग, they started with this. After that, in 2022 is when they started expanding the base. वो namkeen, those cream rolls and biscuits and all of that, rusk and all. So that started with these 2 plants, Siliguri 1 and Siliguri 2. Okay, that's that. right? So these were the only plans that were there for them. And of course, other than that, they had these plans in the existing areas. This was for contract manufacturing. Ye plans to tha from 2016. Like I told you, they started in 2016 for contract manufacturing, right? That time these plans were there. I hope you can follow my cursor here. So these plans are their own plans for their own Annapurna Swadisht ka brand ke liye starting. Then in 2022 also they understood, the existing capacity is still not enough and they can achieve even more volume growth. And they started these two plants, AK Gurap or AK Dulagra, so these two plants they started. This plant at Gurap that is there, the commencement of production has started already in July, right? This July, this is September, July, the commencement of this production has started. This plant that is there, the Dulagra mein jo greenfield expansion ho raha hai, this will start in around, in later year in FY24, not sure when, right? Not just that, this quarter, what has happened is they have also got, a lot of contract manufacturing also, right? It's not they have completely let go of the contract manufacturing with 5 white label brands. White label kya hota hai? White label are already existing big brands. Aapke paas jaise brand value hota hai. For example, Britannia, existing brand, good brand value. So I'm not telling Britannia is a product. Sorry, Britannia is their customer, but like similarly to that, there are 5 good existing organized sector mein ek brand hai. For them, they have got, of course, a contract manufacturing, and they manufacture all this namkeen and potato chips, ready to drink beverages, noodles and cakes like that, in these plants. Not only that, recently what has happened also, they've got an exclusive contract manufacturing ka ek license for this company called Gopal Food Products, right? Yeah, Gopal Food Product is a brand for that. Annapurna Swadisht are the only exclusive contract manufacture karte hai, right? And for that, it has been happening in this Mathura ka ek plant hai, right? From there it is happening. And Gopal Food ka jo plant, it is near this Mathura ka UP, so it works out for them. So you can see here, right, the existing capacity kitna is bad raha hai at the end of the day. It clearly shows you, there is a lot of demand for the product. The existing volume growth bhi hai. So other than that, you're seeing, they are also expanding in the distribution network also. Like I told you, right, inka do philosophy hai business mein. Ek hai variety introduce karna, dusra hai, introduce jitna ho sakta hai volume growth karo. Volume growth mein also what you have to do, increase your distribution network, right? And that's what they told. Jo zyada dikhta hai, wo bikta hai. Even today, you tell me, right, if you see me or my products being there everywhere, I got them every retail stores, your tendency to buy will be more, right? Because there will be a kind of bias in your head, like, you're seeing this product a lot more, so you end up having a bit of trust over there. So you tend to buy this product because of that. Or, you have to be bombarded with ads on social media. So here, that is what they're trying to do, trying to get this volume growth. Now, how will volume growth come? Volume growth will come, the more distribution you put up, the more retail touch points you have. That is where volume growth will come from. So even in volume growth also, they have a philosophy: entrench and expand. What is entrench? Entrench matlab jo bhi existing states mein wo log hai, right? They want to go aggressive on distribution. And expand is wherever, they're not there, they want to go and explore that place also. So like I told you earlier, around 70% of the sales were coming from West Bengal, right? So of course, which means what, they were very well established in West Bengal, but again, they want to penetrate more and more in the regions of like West Bengal, Bihar and Odisha, where, they were already there, and expand in new areas such as Assam, Meghalaya, Andhra Pradesh, that is where they want to go, right? If you see here, West Bengal, they've already done like 30, as of now, I would say March 2023 or May 2023, this is all from the annual report, by the way. So you can see that they have 210 distributors and 30 super stockists, right? Now, what is this 30 super stockists? Super stockists are those people that, that hoard your products, or basically a go down that stores all your products, right? All these wholesalers you would have given, or wholesalers you see, right? That is where it is. So they're expanding more and more, as you can see. Similarly, in Bihar and Odisha also, you can see 31 stockists and 64 distributors, right? And they're entering into new regions of Uttar Pradesh and Andhra Pradesh, right? And not only that, they're not only doing the expansion and, going into more and more existing states also, they're also going into e-commerce. In e-commerce, they introduced a new brand called Gohona Bori, right? It is listed in Amazon and it is in the D2C space, right? So as you can see, capacity ho raha hai, distribution expansion bhi ho raha hai, right? So it's just a testimony to show you that the demand for this product is right there. Now, coming to the numbers, numbers, right? See, there is no Q1 FY24 result for this company, so we will have to see the FY23 ka result. That is on March ka data that I'm talking about. If you see there, can you see the year-on-year change has been 162%? This is just another testimony because it has come from where? Kahan se aaya ye 162%? Just the fact that they've been able to go expand the distribution and get a volume growth because of that. Just crazy distribution, right? So you can see that the top line has been changed by 162%. You can see the profit also has been changed by 197%. The reason for that is two things. Again, the base is also very small. It is a fairly new business in this region, started in 2019, right? And of course, they're expanding right now. You can see a good amount of operating leverage also, right? You'll see the EPS also fairly expanding, right? 451% ka change hua hai. But the only negative thing is, can you see here, the EBITDA margin jo hai, it has hardly changed. 8.42 से 8.46 bana. Why? Because see, look at the snacks or the categories of snacks that they sell, right? They hardly sell this 5 rupees ka category. इसमें आपको कहाँ पे margin मिलेगा? See, margins will be there when you sell your premium product, right? The fact that they're selling 5 rupees ka product, right? Of course, a lot of it will go in, just putting your product out and, all of this. So that is why the EBITDA margin, like I told you, the margins are very thin, razor thin margins that you can see here, right? That is one negative point you can know, or you can see. Other than that, like, this is the result on a year-on-year basis, right? Of course, like on all metrics, you can see, right? Top line here, bottom line here, right? On top of that, again, can't complain about margin. It is just the way the business model and the product categories, you can't complain a lot about it, right? EPS bhi bada hai, right? Another thing to note down here is, also operating leverage also, you can see it fairly playing out. Another thing to note down about here is, can you see the net worth? This net worth is nothing but a change in equity base, right? They came out recently with an IPO, right? So because of this IPO, the equity base has changed. That is why you're seeing this huge change. I think the IPO was for around 60 crores, that is why IPO was for around 59 crores, 59.6, I think, to be more precise. The issue was for, that is why you're seeing the huge change in this base here, right? So all in all, a good set of numbers. If you just take an income statement and if you have to filter it out, great set of numbers, right? Like revenue is there, bottom line, top line, and as well as operating leverage is also there, right? So great and great. Even if you hear, this is their FY22 versus FY23. Agar aap dekhte ho, can you see here? All in all, nothing to complain. There is not a lot of other income also compared to the revenue from operations. It is not a huge change. You can see here also the fact that bottom line here, top line here, and of course operating leverage is there. The only thing, like I told you earlier about, is the EBITDA margin that is there. Margin will always be come. Even in terms of profit margin, agar aap dekhte ho, there is hardly any change. Another reason why is because of the product category. Because they sell for 5 rupees ka product, right? That is almost all the 96 to 98%. So kitna hi aayega margin usme, right? So that's that. Now let us just go see the balance sheet. यहाँ पे अगर आप balance sheet में देखते हो, right? Can you see here one thing? Of course, you're seeing this equity का base increase हुआ है. One of the reasons for equity base का increase because the fact that they've got down with the IPO. That is number one thing, right? The second thing you will see is, let's just see your asset liability mismatch. Asset liability mismatch, if you have to see the current ratio and quick ratio, if you see the current asset by current liability, aap uska ratio dekhte ho, it is around 1.4 ratio. So okay, for a small company, I can't judge it with the standards of TCS or something, or with the likes of Nestle or something, because you can't expect the same kind of corporate governance, but fairly good, for that. If you see the quick ratio here, the quick ratio, if I have to minus the inventories out, right? If I take the inventories out of the current asset and current liability, it comes up to 1. So you can see also the majority expense here in the current liability also is current asset also, sorry, is coming from inventories, right? Of course, right? Aap itna volume growth kar rahe ho, you want to get your products out there, you have to get more inventories also to make those products. So that's that. Another thing to highlight here, I would like you to observe is, one, can you see the plant property and equipment में 9 crore से यहाँ पे होगा 23 crores? Because like I told you, Siliguri में 2 plant किया था 2022 में, right? That is there. And they also did greenfield expansion in that 2 plants. Again, from G and D it starts. What was the name again? Yeah, Gurap and Dulagra, right? Because of this, of course, and they're also setting up a new line at Asagaon, right? So because of that, you will see that plant property and equipment ka thing. Not only that, even in terms of debt also, you will see debt also has fairly risen a bit, right? 3 crores se 15 crores. And here also 3 to 6. Long-term borrowing has increased from 3 to 6. Short-term borrowing from 3 to 15. So 15 plus 6, kitna hua? 24. Here it was how much? 6.5. So debt also has increased from 6.5 crores to around, yeah, it's crores, right? Yeah, 3 to 6 to 24. Now again, right, fairly, you can't expect anything from here. Don't get scared here because of the debt, because it is a new company. एक छोटा company को grow करना है. How, see, debt is not a bad thing unless until you're able to use your debt in a proper way, right? Because see, as a small company, you need money to grow. So there are only two ways for you to grow your money. Either you take debt or you have to dilute your equity. That is what these people have done, right? They diluted their equity by coming into the share market and giving out their IPO. And also, of course, the debt has gone up here because of the borrowing. Because think about it, hardly thoda sa hi ek chota sa how do I tell you, chota sa business hai, and they want to grow and they see a lot of demand, right? So because of this, they have to set up a plan, buy machinery, not just that, invest in buy those raw materials, pay the people. How will they get the money from? So of course, that is the only two options that they have, right? So of course, the debt has also gone up because of the same reason. If you see even the cash flow statement also, right? Cash flow statement में भी अब अगर आप देखते हो, you will see that the cash flow has gone 7 से क्या बोलते हैं, it has increased, right, from hardly less than 1 crore, 0.5 crore से 7 crore का increase हुआ है cash flow from operating activities, right? That is a net profit from last year to this year, right? FY22 to FY23. The second thing can you see here is after all the working capital changes भी उनका यहाँ पे बढ़ गया. It is around 11.4 crores. Can you see all this 11.4 crore is going on two things. One is of course एक होता है आपका जो working capital changes में हो रहा है, receivables, payables, etc. The other thing is it is going on is here. Can you see purchase of fixed asset? Purchase of fixed asset क्या है यहाँ पे? Your machines, your plant, all of that. So can you see all the cash that they are making at the end of the day, because they are a very small company, is going into two things. So it is fairly fine, right? Because you're a small company, I want a small company to be investing more and more in themselves only, in their growth. So whatever cash you're making, if you're going and investing in you, it is better to invest in a plant, in a property, and increase your top line from that, rather than giving out dividend and keeping cash in the sheet. So this is why I tell you, you just can't see the formula. You can't be like, okay, cash from operating activities minus cash from investing activities and calculate the free cash flow. And I think generally people have this bias, so oh, business mein free cash flow nahi hai, so it is a bad business. No, it doesn't mean agar aapka free cash flow nahi hai, it doesn't mean a bad business, right? Unless until you're using that that money properly. यहाँ पे आप देख रहे हो जो भी cash आ रहा है, it is going into putting into the plant or it is going in the working capital, which is necessary, right? See, all the money that is there, यहाँ पे 13 crore जा रहा है working capital में, right? As you can see, one of the reasons also, see, they are into the rural areas, right? Can you see here the trade receivable जो है has increased, right? Earlier 0.7 crores, मतलब 70 lakhs नहीं आ रहा था business के पास, right? अभी कितना नहीं आ रहा है? 11 crores is not coming from the business, right? So if you see, am I saying this correct? Sorry, not 11 crores, sorry, 0.8, 80 lakhs नहीं आ रहा था, अभी 13 lakhs नहीं आ रहा है business, sorry, 13 crore नहीं आ रहा है. So you will see this huge change, right? You will be like, oh, Prerna, this is such a red flag. पहले तो like receivables में just 80 lakhs नहीं आ रहा था, अभी 13 crore नहीं आ रहे थे. Huge change, right? One is of course because of small change it looks like that. Second is, think about this. They are selling 5 rupees का product और कहाँ पे बेच रहे? Rural India में बेच रहे, right? And they're selling it to whom? They're not selling it to this big brands like e-commerce. They're selling it to normal retailers. जो आप देखना, you would have seen this Sutta का shop, where they sell this 5 rupees का snack and all. That is where they sell. And think about it, they're selling in this poor states of Bihar and Jharkhand and West Bengal, right? So of course, यहाँ पे उनका cash crunch हमेशा रहेगा, right? Because these people have to first give it to the distributor. This distributor will go give it to the wholesaler will give it to the retail, and then after that the retailer sells. That's how they get the cash, right? So of course, because of this, as they increase more and more distribution, as the volume growth increases, even this will also increase. The trade receivable will also increase, the trade payable will also increase, right? It is just a way of the business, right? अगर आप देखते हो यहाँ पे भी, if you see the inventories, where is the inventory? See, inventory is also यहाँ पे increase हुआ है. 8 crore से it has increased to 29 crores, right? So 3.5x times it has increased. Now, of course, अगर आप इतना volume और distribution करोगे, at the end of the day, you will need all these, you will need raw materials for that. So if your inventories are increasing by 3.5x, it is okay for the trade receivable and trade payables also to increase at the same rate or at a lesser rate, right? So that is what you're seeing here. And again, if you see, right, like I told you, cash flow जो भी आ रहे हैं कहाँ पे जा रहे हैं? Working capital changes and apna plant pe. So again, in terms of if you see balance sheet na, it is okay. Like there is not a lot of how do I tell? There aren't any red flag as such, right? So all in all, if you see the numbers, good numbers in terms of income statement, agar aap dekhte ho, good numbers, nothing to complain about. Balance sheet is also okay considering for a small businesses, and also the cash flow is also good, right? That is there. The only I will come to this. This is one problem I have with the business. So overall, if you see, right, if I have to just wrap it up in the business, a great business, low market cap hai, right? Low market cap hai, top line hai, bottom line hai, aggressive distribution kar raha hai, right? Volume growth bhi hai, because see, they are selling 5 rupees ka product. So of course there is nothing but volume growth over there, right? So you can see that volume growth is there. So all in all, it fairly ticks all the boxes, right? Fairly good. Now, of course, everything can't go hunky dory, right? There must be something wrong also here in this company, right? So let us just see what is the risk associated with this. See, this stock, like I told you, is comes from a very West Bengal ka ek region se aata hai, right? It is also a very small company, very chota micro cap stock here, right? So do your due diligence here. So the problem with these kind of companies are the disclosure is not upfront, right? These people don't even give out a quarter-on-quarter result. So whatever data that I'm talking to you about is from March, right? And March is when long back, right? Now it is June, July, September, August, September, right? 4 months we are into after March. So we don't know what has happened from quarter, like June ka quarter mein kya hua, nothing, right? So remember this, like you cannot expect that kind of disclosure here, and tomorrow maybe when they come out, they might come out with the result after 6 months, boom, something might have completely gone wrong, maybe the plant that they've been talking about, maybe wahan pe kuch problem ho gaya, they were not able to do the distribution, blah blah blah, xyz things can happen here, right? So be fairly careful when you're investing in these kind of stocks, because the disclosure is not upfront, right? Tomorrow the same company can come up with this 30 numbers and be like, I'm sorry. So that is the thing. So be careful when you're investing in these kind of stocks. The second thing is, of course, in terms of concentration risk, because like I told you, right, ye West Bengal se aa raha hai. Right now, although it is hardly 56% coming from West Bengal, you cannot deny the fact that, अगर कल वेस्ट बंगाल में कुछ होता है, let's say the labor laws change or anything that happens in terms of even a natural calamity such as flood or something that happens, these people will get impacted the most, right? Because majority of the revenue as of now in 2023, 56% comes from West Bengal, right? That is one. The third thing is, the inflation can wipe off below 5 INR 5 category snap. Now, what does this mean? Like, see, if you see the whole trend that we observed in 2021 and 2022, which were the businesses that were most affected? Those businesses that didn't have pricing power, right? If you see any consumption businesses, any commodity or consumption businesses, those businesses that didn't have pricing power, that were not able to readily increase their price, agar aap dekhte ho, all of these FMCG businesses, they bank on one thing, volume growth, right? And of course, due to inflation, kya hua, people were not buying these products as how do you tell, as steadily, and these people couldn't even increase the price. Agar increase kiya price ko, then people would start downtrading. So similarly here also, the fact that, sirf volume growth mein khel rahe, there is no pricing power here. Kal, anybody, let's say the raw material ka prices increases, already they have a very razor thin margin, you saw, because of the product category, right? Kal koi bhi aake, like raw material ka price, tel ka price increase hua, yeah, whatever the flour ka price, the maida ka price increase hua, what will they do? They have no option, right? They can't even increase the price on one end. So because of this also can, it can really affect the business. And like I told you, just because of the product category, very razor thin margin. The last thing is, of course, they're not prone as to, like, in terms of distribution also, even other existing FMCG business also can go, and because if you see the likes of Nestle, Dabur, Marico, even they are going and going into the T3 and T4 cities. So tomorrow even they can also come and acquire your market share. It is not like that cannot happen, right? That is also always there. And when those people come, what do they have in advantage over you? What is the leverage they have? They have brand value at the end of the day, right? Lay's and Kurkure has more of a brand value. The fact that you put up Ranbir Kapoor and Virat Kohli on the face of the packet is more than enough, compared to these people, right? So they don't stand a chance in terms of brand value when compared to these brands, right? So these are the risks that I can think of. The other thing what I did was, when I was trying to calculate the ROE, right? The ROE calculation is not matching. If I have to see, can you see here? They have done the return of equity. They 13.1 se they bola hai ki, like, the return on equity has increased to 20.95. Now I don't know how they've got this number 20.95, or I don't know if I am doing a wrong calculation. Probably if somebody goes through this company can explain it to me, because if you see how is return on equity calculated, right? आप उनका प्रॉफिट देखो, लास्ट साल का प्रॉफिट था FY22 का प्रॉफिट, where the hell is it? Yeah, profit after tax, I think it was what, yeah, profit or loss for the year. Last time it was what, 0.55 crore. Agar आप 0.55 crore divided by, if you do around the equity base which was there, yeah, equity base was what, 0.65 crore, right? If you divide it by that, it comes up to 10.5, 10.6, 10.5, right? Which is okay. And they have given here यहाँ पे कितना return on equity 13.10. Okay, fine, ठीक है, 3% का मिलाओ. But later, if you see for FY23 ka ROE calculation, FY23 ka ROE calculation, if you see, that is 7 crore ka profit kiya hai, right? 7 crore ka profit divided by this equity base, which is FY23 ka equity base, that is there, 59.76, right? If you see that 59.76 crores, right? If you see, if the ROE comes up to around 12%, that's it. So I don't understand ye kahan se ye ROE aaya, which is like 20%, 20.95. And let me tell you, there's a huge difference between having 12% ROE and 20.95% ROE. So I also understand in one way, your equity base can change in a year, right? Having said that, you have infused more capital. I understand that, but this change, I don't know. It's a huge change, man. Come on, 12. Where is 12% and where is 20%, right? So I don't know. Maybe someone can enlighten me as to like what is their equity base, what they have taken. But this is my only problem. How did they get their return on equity for 20.95%? I just don't understand that. So other than that, there is no problem. This is the only problem I have in terms of financials, right? In terms of their getting their financial metrics, this is the only problem that I have. Other than that, having said that, no problems, good business. Yeah, good business. Just to wrap it off, low market cap hai. Top line is there, bottom line is there, and you can see most of the top line is coming from volume growth. Expansion bhi kar raha hai, distribution बढ़ा रहे हैं, like anything. They're going into every goddamn state that is there, and even in the existing states also, they're doing the capacity expansion. Contract manufacturing is also doing great. Can't complain about EBITDA margin. It is just the nature of the business model and nature of the product, right? And you can also see that every capital that they're getting is going into growth, funding their own business, and in the working capital changes and in the plant property and equipment. All in all, a good thing. Again, like I told you, please do not expect the kind of corporate governance. Be careful when you're investing in these small companies. Again, just to end it off, I'm not a SEBI registered advisor, so please this is just for educational purposes, so please do your own due diligence before take some decision, right? That's one thing. So I've highlighted the risks also that comes with these kind of businesses. Since they're very small businesses, please don't expect the kind of corporate governance that with the likes of big businesses, right? Anything can happen. So that's that, right? And like I highlighted, the ROE issue also that is there. If anyone can just help me out, probably in the comment section or reach out to me in the DMs, that would be great. Yeah. So that's it about Annapurna Swadisht. So hope to see you again next time. Yeah. Chalo, take care and bye.